when is it the right time in terms of a young brand like us to go retail?
Why to go retail? Why? You have a 10x potential today without even touching retail. Where do you want to take this business?
We want to make it a 500 crore brand.
चार is very family sits together and eats. अगर जार आ जाता है टेबल पे तो 3 लोग खा ही लेते हैं उसको.
Their product is designed to lose here, and your product is designed to lose here.
थोड़ा right to win देखो आप. Not for you but for your consumer.
I think a mistake that a lot of people make, is a very expensive mistake to make, is that
10 to 24 to 40 to 100 journey might happen much quicker than you are imagining. तुम तो 4 साल बोल रहे हो. मेरे हिसाब से 2 साल में हो जाना चाहिए just through this. Moving to shampoos was not. Both sit in the bathroom, but and me being bald has nothing to do with it.
This puts things in perspective because a lot of times Aditya has closed deals with a lot of offline platforms and he's like, it's a good deal, we should go for it, and we'll be like, do we have to?
you sold it, you realize the money, it's game over. However, please remember, even that is not such a good deal because you will blow your reputation. So I'll give you a framework. I've used it to build very small businesses like 0 to 1 journeys. Used it also to run multi-billion dollar businesses. Universal framework. So we call this framework.
Niharika, Aditya, welcome to BarberShop Khul Ke Scale. So happy to have both of you. When we saw your company, I was very excited because it's a topic of close personal choice because I absolutely love it as a consumer of different kinds of pickles, different kinds of chutneys. I think they add tremendous joy to my life. So to have founders who are building it is amazing. I have with me Arjun. Arjun is a board member, friend, mentor, a veteran of the BarberShop. This is probably his 10th or 11th episode. He's kind enough to give a lot of time.
We've seen them all.
We would love to. We have seen the material that you have sent us. We have kind of gone through all the questions, but would love to, kind of understand who you are, what you're building, and how Arjun and maybe to some extent I'm more a facilitator of this. I'm here to kind of hear Arjun's point of view as well, but I would love to kind of know more about you and then dive straight into the business and the issues.
First of all, thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here and learn actually. As founders, we have so many discussions every day on the problems that we have. And this is the perfect setup for us to sort of deep dive into it. A little bit about me. I purely come from a marketing background. I've studied digital marketing at Cass Business School, London. And on the sidelines, my Dadi passed away and we had all these pickle recipes, which I personally loved. But kaun banayega usko ghar pe? So that's how it all started. And
when was
this was around 2016, 2017.
Right.
I was still working.
Okay.
And on the sidelines, I started reviving those recipes from my buas, my Dadi's old book, everything. Because when I went out in the market, I found a gap. Personally, as a personal need, that what's available in the market is that factory made achar, usme wo ghar wala taste nahi hai. So that's where the personal need came from. I participated in the Grub Fest, I remember, and we didn't come back with a single bottle. So I realized that it's not just a personal need, but I was still not sure about the business viability of things, if I have to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So I was working on the D2C side. I started freelancing. I was working for a lot of restaurants. And then I was like, no, I want to do this properly. The D2C wave was just starting. This is around COVID. D2C became big that time. And especially food was the only thing that was running that time. So I launched our website. Everything was working on place. The website was doing really well. Was running meta ads myself. Designed the first set of labels myself. Everything in-house. Was a weekend project at that time. Post which I realized the D2C wave ke baad the QCom wave came. And that's when he came in. This was around 2022. I convinced him to leave his job and over to you now.
Right. So, always watching my elder sister from the sidelines, troubling her, but helping her as to where all, I see I can add value or, give inputs. I started my career with EY as an audit associate straight out of college. From there, went to the UK, did my master's in management. Came back to India, did a few...
Were you guys in the UK at the same time?
No, different years.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, we went to the same college, but at first when I got in, I was like, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
Only because she went. And I ended up at the same college. So yeah. So after UK, I came back to India, did a few consulting projects here and there. Ended up with Jimmy's Cocktails as a key accounts manager. Was, I think, the 5th employee over there. my role was to handle modern trade and e-commerce. Saw the transition from e-commerce to quick commerce, that whole transition, and how, it really helped that brand do well, So pretty much learned everything on the job over there, kept giving us, small inputs on the sidelines. Then she like, just come this side, the inputs, just come this side. So I think finally took that plunge, joined her, and, now I'm the CEO and co-founder over here, reporting to my elder sister.
How does that work out? I was going to ask, what's the age difference like?
She's 2 years elder to me.
2 years is almost same.
Yeah, we have a lot of our friends are common, so we've literally grown up together. We have a younger brother also, who's 7 years apart from me, 9 years apart from her. So now let's see where does he end up. But yeah,
what is he doing? He's studying.
He's studying. He just finished his bachelor's in hospitality from MIT. Yeah.
Achha.
Good. So tell us more about the business. Where are you at? And
Correct.
how it's
So in
going?
terms of few key metrics that I'd like to highlight, we have roughly 32% plus customer retention. We are an EBITDA positive company. We are a cash flow positive company. We are selling close to 70,000 plus jars every month in the last quarter. That if I look at the average, we are
How many?
70,000 plus. We are on our way to hit roughly 30 crore ARR in the next quarter in terms of GMV.
Again, very, very good manufacturer speak, like 70,000 jars. So it's a good way to measure the business. Okay.
Correct. So yeah, in terms of the core metrics, that is what it looks like. Like I said, we sell digitally. 70% of the business is Q-commerce.
Okay.
Another 15% is marketplaces. 10% is Shopify. And roughly 5% is Horeca. We serve some of the leading 5-star hotels in NCR, and where it's been organic. The chef liked our product. He reached out, I want this in my kitchen. So, it reached the kitchen. Certain hotels we've managed to get some branding elements also. कि buffet में हमारे अचार है, साथ में Little Farm.
We have a pickle bar.
Pickle bar rather, that's what it's called. The pickle bar at one of the hotels in Aero City.
Wow.
So,
Which one?
like it. It's called Pullman. Their restaurant is called The Plug.
Okay.
The coffee shop. So over there.
And where do you want to take this business?
We want to make it a 500 crore brand.
That's a 9-year goal. A 5-year goal or a 3-year goal is, to 100 crores. Next year we're aiming for 24. Then 40 and then 100, that's what we have in mind. 24, I feel we can easily do purely online. Just double down on our numbers, look at the assortment more carefully, penetrate deeper into, say, newer cities with the existing assortment, because everything is not available everywhere at the moment. So, kind of look at that, in a more focused manner. That is what we're looking to do. And still, I feel, like you asked about the market size, 5,000 crores is something that would be, I would say, the organized sector. This sector is still highly unorganized, which is, say switching slowly. There are housewives who are making pickles. If you go to Kharivauli in Chandni Chowk in Delhi, you get 100 kinds of pickles, unbranded basically, So that is also a big market which is actually not measured effectively.
Correct.
So there's, huge scope with, 3 to 4 players being, say national brands. And apart from that, there are regional brands clocking, I think 100 crore plus, traditionally in general trade across the country.
Interesting. Yes. So how can we help?
Yeah.
Correct.
So for us, I guess how we started working on the question was, what do we get stuck at, or what do we have a debate on when we're stuck at something? So the first question that sort of keeps coming up is when to go retail. Right now, like we mentioned, we started with D2C, then went to Amazon for product discovery. Now we're heavily dependent on Q-com in terms of where our revenue comes from. It's working great as a discovery platform for us. But when is it the right time in terms of a brand, young brand like us, to go retail? You have to do that if, like we're talking about a vision of 500 crore brand to leverage growth. We have to go offline at some point. We have to get into MT. We have to get into GT. But when is the right time? And another question that we discussed, does discovery even happen offline now?
Yeah.
Because personally, I shop online now. I will maybe send someone from my house to the grocery market. I won't personally go. Just specifically tell them, get this. So does discovery even happen offline, and when is the right time to sort of deploy capital there?
Can I ask you a question first before we jump into the answer? Like, why to go retail? Why? Why do you want to go?
So for us, I feel like eventually when we do double down on our growth, or when there is stagnancy, there will be the right time to go retail. But again, that is a question we keep discussing on. And a lot of times, a lot of platforms, Aditya has closed deals with in terms of MT and GT, but we've stopped ourselves that a lot of capital will go there.
Basically, it's, to make noise, to have more trials. That is for sure the prima facie. In terms of numbers,
To drive growth.
to drive growth, it would be a slower, path compared to QCom. I know to generate even 5 crores, I will have to sell 3 units per day per store across 1,700 stores. That can primarily come from, say, NCR as a whole. But that would require a lot of manpower, a lot of promoters on ground and everything. But I just feel just to put myself out there to, get the touch and feel and the taste of the product out there for people who are actually not my customer as of today. Get them to become my customers in the near future. That is the thought that we have.
And do you know that the discovery or let's say the first trial happens in retail, or is it happening all in QCom, or most of it is happening in QCom now?
As of today, at least
Not for you.
Okay, as a whole,
from a category, from a pickle point of view. So I want to buy a pickle for the first time. Maybe not for the first time, but I want to buy a new pickle or I want to try something. Where will I discover something new instead of my old brand?
So I feel in terms of tasting sampling, pickles something that people haven't done on ground tasting enough. Winegreens is a classic example of in-store sampling. Pickles में किसी ने नहीं किया, but I aspire to do that. But हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा, that I don't think so. Pickles में नहीं हो रहा. Where are people discovering is, in QCom only, especially the newer age brands, QCom or marketplaces as a whole.
Yeah.
If I talk about legacy regional brands at a sensitive price point, that is still happening over retail.
You have any thought?
I'm of the firm opinion that that a product as good as this in a category with the kind of word of mouth / social consumption that is there. Achar is a very family sits together and eats. अगर जार आ जाता है टेबल पे तो 3 लोग खा ही लेते हैं उसको. Right? You need one person to want it, then the whole family eats it, right? The kind of food, also food is such an Instagram friendly category, right? You can really romance the product far more than BPC can in food, right? So when you have a combination of social consumption / word of mouth, your ability to tell a story, especially with 85% women workforce, you both are young founders, the product is great, you have 500 customers who reach out to you on WhatsApp, right? So you have all of that. Add to that a market where the largest companies in India are taking India from 5,000-6,000 dark stores to 10,000 dark stores in a year. They're all launching like a store a week at the very least.
Right.
So then if growth is the issue, then growth is solved through a combination of these 3 things. A great product with a story well told in a market which is expanding and taking your product, and you're already 70% there. So you just have to make sure availability happens and you're telling your story constantly. This 10 to 24 to 40 to 100 journey might happen much quicker than you're imagining. तुम तो 4 साल बोल रहे हो, मेरे हिसाब से 2 साल में हो जाना चाहिए just through this. You will start hearing, in my view, from your customers saying कि मैं दुकान में गया, मेरे को अचार खरीदना था और मेरे को मिला नहीं. Customers will tell you that मेरे को मिला नहीं offline. Tab you can start saying, okay, fine, now there is a loss of sale that's happening where so many customers have been acquired and they're not finding our products. So we should create availability.
So you'll feel that pull coming in from the customers itself.
Till that point in time, getting your word out is so much more capital efficient and easier when others are investing. If someone else is investing in building out these dark stores and Instagram, Meta is totally blowing up user-generated content on Instagram in India because there's so many people consuming.
Correct.
And brands can put out stories.
I want to tell you something fun also that we did with Meta. Now that you mentioned Meta, our brand was one of the first few brands to get picked up on a WhatsApp for Business campaign.
Yes.
So we had hoardings across Delhi NCR, got featured in an ad film for WhatsApp for Business because we were the first few brands to use click for WhatsApp ads. So that happened thanks to Meta.
That's amazing. That's what I'm saying. They're all. So when other people are investing,
right?
Because offline में कोई invest नहीं करेगा. Offline में आपको invest करना है.
Right.
So would you rather invest in a place where you have to put so much effort, like you're saying, or would you rather put your time in a place where others are investing and giving you tailwinds? And the answer to me is always the latter. Because a capital deployer, you're capital deployers. As CEO and CEO and founders, you're capital deployers.
Right.
Where would you rather do it? तुम अगर बोल रहे हो कि यार मैं 1 साल से 2 crore पर month पे stuck हूँ और सब कुछ ट्राई कर लिया, ग्रोथ नहीं आ रहा, वो तो है नहीं आपका सीन. आपका सीन है बस have launched. My view is you should not proliferate more than this. Maybe some change in for regional. This is enough SKUs, but go deeper. You have to be at 15-20% market share and quick commerce.
Correct.
So maybe let's do your white.
Yes, please.
So let's look at a basic framework to see how to think about it. So in any FMCG category, anything, food, BPC, anything that you do, there are 3 fundamental drivers, right? One is awareness, right? One is affordability,
right?
And accessibility. There are others, but I'm simplifying for the sake of It's a neat framework that you can look at. And I think the question you need to ask yourself is maybe you put together your channel. So one channel you have today is D2C, which you're clearly pretty good at.
Quick commerce.
Then you have quick commerce, which you're very big at. Then you have marketplaces, right? You have some Horeca.
Right.
And you want to know whether you want to go to retail.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
Right? So before you start with any of this, you want to start with who is your consumer, right? Who's your consumer?
So like I mentioned, urban shoppers who are sort of living away from home, looking for quick, comforting meals. And then there are family shoppers who want safe meals which are familiar in flavor.
Okay, slow. I'm writing. So away from home.
Urban shoppers and family shoppers. This is where the bucket sort of lies.
Urban and family, away from home, looking for convenience.
Yes. Tier 1, Tier 2 is where our customers currently are.
Okay.
So I can't say practically women. If there are
That's
about
okay.
10 women buying, there's 7 men also buying. That's the data that we have.
Oh, not bad. 60-40.
Yeah.
huh?
Yes. 70, 30, yeah, 60-40. Yeah.
60-40.
Okay, so how many households would this be?
So right, if you're selling 70,000 jars a month, you're at least
Not to who you're today, but the potential. If you take all these people together,
correct.
you say, I'll have one jar in every home.
Right.
How many homes are these? You don't have to be exact. It's not exact science. You can be roughly right in plus minus 10 million or 20 million also. Because there are 1.4 billion people. So you can have that margin of error.
So I think 20 million easily, 2 crore urban households in India, for sure.
So they're
I think Gurgaon would have at least 50-60 lakhs or more.
Yeah. So let's say
More.
So India में क्या आशुतोष करो गणित, India has 30 to 35 crore households, which urban will probably be 15 crore households. Affordability जहाँ पे होगा, let's say, will probably, in my view, be between 3 to 5 crore households.
No, I'm not saying affordability is cheap. I'll come to the framework later on. So
Not to include this.
don't draw the conclusion that you need a 10 rupee pickle or something.
Household will be 5 crore households.
Yeah,
in my
but no, forget the price point and all. These type of people, they are what?
1 to 2 crore, I think, households.
2 crores households, right?
Correct.
So each
Can we
household
just check on this?
has you can do the math. So there are lots of people, much more than the jars that you sell, right? Much,
That's the problem.
way more than the jars that you sell.
Correct.
Now these people, if you look at the channels that you have today,
Right.
let's start with awareness, affordability, and accessibility. So the old way of doing it is the old way when there was no internet. I'm talking about a pre-internet era because I come from that era. I'm not as cool as you guys are. But in that pre-internet era, we would say that how do you maximize the awareness?
Right.
Yeah.
And the way to maximize the awareness was you get on TV somehow.
Correct.
Right? You have to do, and whatever, 70 at 1+ reach or 55 at 3+ reach or whatever, we used to have those terms. I don't think anyone uses them anymore, but that was how you measured awareness. And affordability usually was measured by, did you get the price point right? 1 rupee, I know you can't get anything for 1 rupee now, but 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, 50 rupee, coinage basically, 100 not at all, but it would end somewhere there. And then accessibility was the distribution that you would get to.
Right.
And all these three things could be very clear moats for your business. Right? Now, what the internet has done is that it's turned everything upside down on its head. And most people only focus on this. And they say, I can go to Meta. Like you started with, I started this brand on Meta, and that I can go to Meta, I can do Google search. So one generation before you would say Google search, you are saying Meta, and the next generation will say AIO or AEO, whichever one becomes more popular, but they mean the same thing, right? Answer engine optimization or AI optimization. So, however, the affordability also changed with the internet because the price comparison went, and things got. What you thought was not affordable got affordable because your incomes rose, and the type of people you could build the awareness with could also afford. So affordability stopped meaning price points because your price point is 235 rupees. I don't think your consumer cares whether it's 200, 235, 239, 249 or 250. It won't matter.
Yeah.
Correct? So this doesn't become that big of a discerning factor, but it is super important here.
Right.
And then you have accessibility, is how much of it you can reach. So if I look at this model, why don't you do a self-assessment and tell me how good or how well can you build, or what is your right to win in each of these? We can just do a very yes or no, right? So D2C awareness, you can buy.
Yes.
Correct. You are affordable because the price point doesn't matter. Accessibility, it's your
All
own
the
channel,
reports.
so you can list as much, anything, you don't have to pay a listing fee. Quick commerce.
Awareness also, I feel like now we start playing around a lot on videos and everything on QCOM, so we can do that.
Dotted take maybe on this one.
Huh?
A dotted take on quick commerce awareness.
Awareness. Dotted tick.
like getting there.
Okay, I've never done this before. Affordability?
Correct. Yes, over there, that's been a key reason. Accessibility,
It's
yes.
fantastic.
What's the fill rate?
Double tick.
We're about 80%.
Hey, not bad,
Right?
not bad.
Marketplace?
Marketplace awareness, I think we're able to drive more awareness over here with the videos and everything.
Okay.
Affordability, again, you would take over here.
Price is not that
Correct,
much of a concern, so your
Correct.
price is competitive.
Accessibility, again, I think marketplace, we have the control of the inventory entirely. Horeca, awareness would be limited.
Awareness, yeah, everything is a little bit of.
Price point does matter to
Yeah,
a
it
great
does.
extent.
So you're not that good. Let's assume you're not that
we
good.
don't, it's a very small piece of the puzzle. Accessibility also will take time. We're still it's more been inbound till now. So again, till we
So
don't.
more opportunistic type of.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, great. So let's come to this.
Correct.
Do you have awareness for retail?
Zero, right? No.
Right? So the it's not to put you down.
Correct.
The question is to see where you are today.
Correct.
Right? And do you have a proposition that can win in retail? And I think a mistake that a lot of people make, is a very expensive mistake to make, is that you rush into retail because you think I can get trial there, I can get growth there, I can get discovery there. Yes, you can, but not with your proposition.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can tell you a 235 pickle in this bottle, and these plastic bottles may not even stand the test of being in the sun for 30 days in summer. Maybe not.
Yeah.
This is made for dark store, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not being judgmental.
Yeah.
I'm saying you may not have designed with that in mind. The design is very different
So
for
another
offline.
Such a good
discussion
point.
we keep
Correct.
having is that if we do go retail, we will have to work on the packaging.
Exactly.
again.
Size, grammage,
But
everything
let's come back to this.
Right.
Let's even remove Horeca for now,
Sure.
right? You're really good at three things. You're really good at three things. This can come later. In this, are you maxed out?
Not even close.
Because with your current proposition, your ROI will be highest where you have an advantage.
Sure.
And your ROI will be pretty poor where you have a disadvantage. You don't need to run a test to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know the answer to the question. So the question is, have you reached diminishing returns and maxed out your ROI here first?
No.
I don't think so.
Not
Yeah,
even
we have
close.
a lot of potential there. to grow.
Yeah. So I think what you need to figure out is what is your theoretical max on each of them,
Sure.
given today's market, given tomorrow's market, because the market may change, it may grow faster. Quick com may lead to new discovery. You may go to more flavors and pickles. So my strong bias on a business like yours, where you are given the advantage where you come from, is you should play to your strengths.
Right.
And you have very limited capital
Right.
to deploy. Or even if you had lots of capital in the world, you have to deploy it well.
Sure.
So you deploy your capital to a place where you're like super strong or make these strengths. So I would focus on quick commerce, which is 70% of your business. And if you have a dotted take, I would really be thinking about how can I make it a full take,
Sure.
right? How can I make it a double take? How can I make this a double take? How can I make my D2C much better?
Sure.
How can I get this going and become so good at this that no one can catch up to me? Because all the legacy brands that you mentioned before are superb here.
Correct.
Yes.
They all have double takes and triple
Correct.
takes here and they're doing really well.
Correct.
So why do you want to go and play there?
Sure.
You want to go and play where you're really good and they're not good at this because this is an afterthought for them, or maybe they've not hired the right people, or they're just not native to it.
Sure.
That's the most important. You guys are native here.
Right.
So play to your strength is what I would say. See how you can get to the 2 crore households. You can also expand the households with, as you said, you want to be a digital first condiments brand and become a kitchen brand. So as you expand, there's a lot of room to expand here. My bias from what I can see, and I'm no expert in pickles or in condiments, I only eat them, is that you can do much more than 500 crores just here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel. I could be completely wrong.
Sure.
You can go back and do the math. But what if this 2 crore became 3 crore, became 4
Sure.
crore, became 5 crore? What if your products move from 13 SKUs
Right.
to 30 SKUs?
Right.
So a 30 SKU business with a 5 crore target audience
You can hit the numbers that
Can,
you want.
can be huge.
can be huge,
Absolutely.
right?
Sure.
So, and you don't have to get to all 5 crores. It's a theoretical
Sure.
target audience, but can you get
10%
to,
share.
but once it's 5, can you get to, let's say you can get to 1 crore,
Sure.
1 crore users, right? So 1 CR users, multiplied by
To 200.
how many bottles a year?
3 to 4?
Right now, we're doing about 9 lakhs.
But let's say your a single household,
Correct.
how many bottles?
दो तीन तो
No,
करते
no.
A year?
Yeah.
So
2 is minimum, bare minimum.
2 bottles a year.
into 235. That's it.
Correct.
We're at 430.
But you said your AOVs. But 235 is a
That's
bottle.
what-
Let's say,
235 a jar, yeah.
what's your realization? 235 is lies.
Correct. 170.
Ashutosh,
175 into 2 करो 350 करोड़.
This is a conservative. Like I said, 2 jars. Is
Yeah. So if you have 1 crore households, which is 50% of what you think today's target audience is, which will grow, by the way, because people will get richer. Consumption will get better. You're going to make pickles cool again. So as you make pickles cool again, you'll expand the category, especially amongst these people. But every 1 crore households is already worth 350 crores of business for you. And you're at 30.
Correct.
So you have a 10x potential today without even touching retail.
Correct.
And this is very expensive. You need to redo your proposition. You may need to remake your pickle. You may need to get into preservatives.
Sure.
See, the reason legacy players do certain things is not because they want to harm the consumer. It's because they have no choice.
Of course.
And they have to succeed in that channel. And they have to have the preservatives that can stand the weather.
Yeah.
Or go through the stability and make sure that the pickle doesn't turn into poison.
Sure.
So that's why they do certain things that they do. But their product is designed to lose here. And your product is designed to lose here.
Right.
Currently. And I think you have a huge potential just in this. 350 is, from where you are today, it's entering your foggy area, as you said, right? After 100, it becomes all foggy. So it's already in your foggy area. So once you get there, you will get another vision and you can do something.
No.
So yes, you can do retail at some point, but what's the hurry?
True. Very good point.
And even that dotted line going to that full tick, as a branding person, it opens up that yes, I have to get more pull on QCOM also. I want more people searching Little Farm.
What you both said, I think I agree with Arjun completely. I think the one thing which you mentioned was about sampling. And I think in your case, it's a very important part of creating the awareness and accessibility both, right? One idea I have for you guys, and you mentioned Wingreen also. See, you have some sampling mindset. Just coming with this bowl of matri is a great idea. You know how, I don't know whether you remember, but there's a cheese and cracker snack in the US which is very popular amongst kids.
Yeah, it's like a small one.
It's a small one with like 2 crackers. I think you guys should make matri achar sampling packs.
Yeah.
Half and half. Right? This is like half and half, right?
Correct. Because if you only give like a achar in that छोटू सा thing, right? Like a Viva or whatever.
That's what we have currently.
वो कोई खोलेगा नहीं.
Correct.
कोई अचार ऐसे नहीं खाता है ना. तो उसको जब खाना होगा तो वो कहाँ पड़ा होगा. It's like those chili flakes, oregano stuff. It just goes inside somewhere and you never know where it is. So even if you sample it on Blinkit or whatever, no one's going to open it. Correct. But if you put 2 pieces of matri, then the guy like खाने का है.
I'm going to get working on this tomorrow.
Just 4 sticks of matri or even like 2 sticks.
I think anything
सही चीज है. सही चीज है ये. ये 2 चीज ऐसे ये छोटू सा, like literally half of this, put a small plastic around it, and then you sample that to anyone buying tur dal, arhar, moong, or bhujia, anyone on Blinkit.
Yes.
Boss. Second thing is wherever your quick commerce dark store fulfillment is there, वहाँ पे golf course road पे there are 20 to 25 societies,
right,
each with 400 to 700 homes each.
Correct.
With 10 to 15,000 homes here serviced by 5 dark stores.
Right.
वहाँ पे तुम करो ना newspaper वाले के साथ दूध वाले tie up with handpicked and milk basket.
Yep.
They are all over these apartments every morning at 6 o'clock. हर एक में दे डाल दो तुम्हारा मटेरियल और वो ट्रायल पैक. कोई ना तो कोई खा लेगा घर में.
True.
Someone's going to eat it.
True.
And someone eats it, then you will see उस पे Little Farm लिखा हुआ है. So then sampling is important.
Correct.
So while you do this, I think the awareness part, do great sampling, do focus sampling. I wish I had a category where it was this easy to sample. Like it would be so beautiful. हमारा है नहीं, लेकिन shaving is a little tricky to sample because it's very hard.
Correct. No, that's a great idea.
And then go into offline retail once you start feeling the pull. Distributor call कर रहा है, कोई दुकानदार call कर रहा है, मेरे को stock करना है. यहीं पे golf course road पे every society का वो needs दुकान से
Correct.
This puts things in perspective because a lot of times Aditya has closed deals with a lot of offline platforms and he's like, it's a good deal, we should go for it. And we'll be like, do we have to?
Yeah.
It's a good deal if they're paying you money.
Yeah.
If it tells you कि
okay, I'll tell you what a good deal is.
Right.
A good deal is they buy the inventory with no return and they give you the cash.
Correct.
And you're not responsible for the working capital and you have no liability. That's a good deal.
Perfect. मैं तेरे को बोलूँगा मेरे को 200
You sold it, you realize the money, it's game over. However, please remember, even that is not such a good deal because you will blow your reputation if it doesn't sell. So they'll never buy again and no one else will buy again and they'll tell people. So it will seem like a good deal, but why to do?
Correct.
I think that's
So you should take, are those 200 jars better done even if I'm getting the money?
Sure.
In a Blinkit dark store which will go or in a store where they might, like you said, in sunlight, etc. We don't know. You're not designed for it yet, right?
Correct.
So offline retail, cross the bridge when you get there. It's tempting to think about 0 to 1 journeys as founders.
Yeah.
It's a 0 to 1 journey, but it's a very expensive one.
Right.
Do the 1 to 10 where you've already started.
Yeah. See, by the way, offline retail is very similar to what many years ago when I started working, what MNC companies would look at India as.
Right.
So they would take an Excel sheet and they would put the population of India and say, wow, India is more than 1 billion. This is 1 billion people and this is the category and this is the category consumption in USA. So if we get to the same category consumption or even half the category consumption and multiply it by 1 billion people, this is the theoretical market.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would get very excited and then they would come in and blow money in India in marketing, in setting up factories, in overdoing capex, and there you didn't have digital, which could give you a feedback loop in 5 minutes. You put up something and you know in 5 minutes whether it's working or not, right?
True.
You had no feedback loop. Your feedback loop was after you had spent 20 crores and gone bust. So retail is very much like that. And I'll say something which many people would have told you, is that the quick commerce is the new retail.
Yeah.
It is not, I won't say it's a full replacement for a Kirana store, but it is the new Kirana store. It's the new age Kirana store. And you have a chance to get into it, and they carry a lot more SKUs than a Kirana store carries.
Right.
So they have a much lower threshold for entry versus a Kirana store, and it works on both push and pull, more push than pull. Whereas a Kirana store works only on pull.
And there's so much of shelf space planning that you have to do in retail also. You have to do it right.
Yeah, the other advantage, Niharika, on quick commerce is while they will have more shelf space, they are actually very limited also in their selection. Unlike an Amazon, Flipkart, where if you search for a mango pickle, you will see 35 products.
True, 100%.
On a Blinkit, you'll see 5.
True.
You're already in.
Correct.
They're not, if Little Farm is going to do well, they're not going to go to 7, 8, 9 green chili pickles or ketchup.
Correct.
They'll have a Kisan, they'll have Maggie, they'll have whatever. Two Brothers, Viva, and Little Farm.
Correct.
And if someone is searching for ketchup, in 5 में से एक तो add कर ही देगा वो.
True.
They're not losing a customer because they don't have like some regional ketchup brand.
True.
So quick commerce actually is now moving the momentum back to brands who are strong on market share.
Correct.
Like Amazon, Flipkart, which took it to startups.
Correct.
Get quickly in the top 5.
Correct.
Yeah.
So quick commerce, if you're in the top 5, it's a moat.
True.
You will not be displaced in the dark store, unlike Amazon, Flipkart, everybody. So quick commerce is...
I'm sure just in quick commerce, you have massive out of stock opportunity.
Correct. Yeah.
That itself can increase your business by 50%.
Correct.
So would you rather work on just an out of stock opportunity in a current channel?
What is an out of stock? What's an out of stock opportunity?
Most of the stuff is out of stock most of the time in most of the dark stores.
So our next two questions are sort of linked to
That's the biggest insight.
Next two questions are kind of linked to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like half the time because I keep checking every app randomly रात को दिन में वो मेरा माल है नहीं है किस dark store में. अब there are tools to kind of do it. But still I personally just like to see it. And there I do see those opportunities. Out of stock है क्यों है? अरे यहाँ से कहीं D map या D list तो इस dark store से तो नहीं हो गया. How do you figure that out and everything? No one does it intentionally. सब seasonal shifts happen. होली है होली का सामान जाना है, दिवाली का सामान जाना है. तो उसमें मेरा damage नहीं होना चाहिए basically.
And out of stock actually damages your algorithm. I don't know if you know that. It really damages your algorithm and it takes time to build back.
Correct.
And generally brands which are fully in stock all of the time and have a very credible supply chain. And I think a lot of the quick commerce, a lot of people are focusing on quick commerce as a battle for branding or new products or new trial or getting stuff in. It's a supply chain battle. So you're only as good as your supply chain.
True.
And that's the way you need to start thinking about it.
True.
And if you just remain in stock, you will just win the algo itself. If you can be in stock all of the time.
Correct.
So I think that's a much better problem for you to tackle in your biggest channel, where your biggest business is coming from, where all your discovery is coming from.
Sure.
And will give you the max ROI, because quite literally the inventory you should anyway have there.
Right.
So there is no theoretical incremental spend on it.
Right.
I'm sure there will be some incremental spend. You'll get some tool, you'll work on it, you have to get the working capital in. But to get that incremental business, it will be the cheapest way for you to get business is just to be in stock all of the time when you're searched for in these channels.
Correct.
Very good.
No, I think we can hop on to the inventory question first in this case, since we're already talking about inventories. Now, one of the biggest pains for us as a brand is I'm still doing my order planning, forecasting, how I was doing when I was doing 5 lakhs a month. On spreadsheets, पिछले साल कितना बेचा इस SKU का, what is the benchmark growth that I'm taking, or any discussion that we're having with category managers, like we're trying to build an SKU or go big with an SKU. Take all that into consideration. उसको spreadsheet पे डाला, material उस हिसाब से बनाया. Now, how much inventory should I have in my warehouse at any given point of time? How many inventory should I have in rotation? How much inventory should be there with them? Sometimes platforms also tend to overorder. Sometimes SKUs tend to overperform / underperform. So it can be very complicated, and obviously at the same time be cash flow efficient, keeping the working capital in mind. So that is one of the biggest fears. I don't know how do I graduate myself from this, because if it's a nightmare for me as a CEO, it further translates to the whole organization, because सब फटना शुरू हो जाता है the moment.
But issue क्या है इसमें issue?
How do you solve it?
इसमें issue is on seasonality है? Is it on unknown variables because you don't know how much inventory is in circulation? So is the issue with up and down volatility of demand? Is it with lack of data? What is the exact issue which you struggle with?
The exact issue, see, now we have data in the sense we've started monitoring data, what I'm selling, what the platform is selling, and in between, whatever is in rotation, basically, opening, sales, and closing, basically, across the country, basically, and including my own warehouse. Now, every time I'm falling short of certain SKUs, you know, मैं उसको बढ़ाता हूँ, फिर next month I will fall short of the other SKU.
But why are you falling short?
Again, you know, जैसे होली पे था, I planned कि, you know, होली है, we are pushing these certain SKUs. Still, I could not meet the demand, you know. So I don't know why, basically.
And were you overstocking on other SKUs? Is there anything where you're sitting on like 50 days of inventory and you don't know?
One SKU at today, as of today, yes.
But is that like
that SKU is a winter product, totally, you know. अब February में गर्मी थोड़ी जल्दी आ गई इस बार, right, you know. So now I'm already sitting, उसका POs had slowed down already. Yes, correct. क्योंकि जबकि till Jan end, I was selling it like hotcakes.
So जो basic ये है कि when you're growing like this is a growing, expanding and have omni-channel complexity. ये 20-25% inefficiency तो given है.
Right.
Beyond that, you should. What are your views?
I mean, beyond that, you have to use tools to solve these issues. You cannot manually use a spreadsheet.
Right.
There are many tools that you can buy, software that you can work with. But I think a few principles that you have to keep in mind. One is you need to have visibility of all your inventory. Right. I'm just going down to really basics, not going to buy this software and press this button, right? You should have visibility. You should know where your stuff is lying, where is it lying, is it going first in, first out,
Correct.
what are your expiry dates, how are the expiry dates moving and things like that. Then after that, you must have a very good bottoms-up forecasting process.
Yes.
From sales. From your sales guys, from the platforms that you work with, because they can help you. Listen, their supply chain, the best supply chain companies today are, even though they have a lot of misses and a lot of errors, for the complexity that they handle and the delivery that they do in 10 minutes, it's very clear that they are the best supply chain companies right now in India in this space.
Correct.
So I think learning from them, I would just go and ask them first, who is the best company in my scale, or let's say double or triple my size, and how do they do it? Why do they work better? Who is the person who's fully in stock or has 90% or 95% fulfillment?
Correct.
And what can I learn from them?
Correct.
I would do that. I don't understand your category, so it's very difficult for me to pass out a judgment like that. But if I was in your shoes, I would go and talk to them and get that. I would talk to the companies. I would talk to people who do supply very well, whose life depends on quick commerce. And in the founder community, there would be many people. I don't know if you guys have a VC. But if you had a VC, your VC would be able to connect you. But there are lots of people to help you, because you're not the first person to come across this problem. You won't be the last. And there are many people who are solving this problem. So accurate forecasting is super important. So you have to be able to focus. And of course, you're going to make errors, but the forecasting process will improve with every iteration that you create and every time you forecast again and again and again. You're a very young company.
Very manual, which I feel like we need to, of course.
You need to have both. You need to have both. And then there are forecasting tools which can predict using AI. And I don't think they're very expensive. But unless you have visibility, unless you have basics, unless you have a good bottoms-up forecast, the tool can only do garbage in, garbage out. So the input into the tool needs to be pretty good to get a good output out. I don't think it's not a solvable problem, but it's a great problem to work on.
Also, another thing we were discussing, as we move further into tier 2, tier 3 cities, the complexity will change because demand will also change. Some
profile will
change.
Correct. So yeah, like, you know, for example, Punjab, you know, with one of the quick commerce platforms, we were pushing कि यार हमें डालो. Punjab achar is like aam papad. It's like a commodity. We took that risk, and now after core metros, Punjab, Lucknow, Kanpur are next biggest markets as of today. Now to go say, if I'm looking at say, you know, Vizag or you know, even say Madurai, you know, where my knowledge is very limited. You know, they might be very good markets, but how much stock to deploy over there? Certain platforms are taking our products over there. What kind of fill rates do I keep for that? That is also another question that I have, you know, and I'm obviously trying to capture the category manager's mind as to, because obviously it's, if they're pushing us, they're also seeing something, right? But I also don't want to get, say, stuck with, you know, 5 lakh worth of inventory in a, you know, complete city where I don't want to get it back from, basically.
So at least and I agree with what Arjun is saying. I think the way we, at least very simplistically, the way we try to do it is, we will have a closing inventory by SKU, okay, by channel. So this Blinkit, Instamart, Zepto, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, D2C, Horeca, and whatever else you might have, right? What is the target? By SKU, do you guys have targets for each of these platforms as at a founder level, at a key account manager level, or whoever in your team? Is there a target?
Maybe in terms of growth, yes.
Revenue.
Revenue growth
monthly
or
quarterly, let's say, right? Units, right? Growth नहीं, total. कितना बेचना है? उसके लिए मार्केट
yes, of course, कि revenue इतना है, हम यहाँ खड़े हैं, यहाँ से यहाँ
तो अगले महीने या अगले क्वार्टर में को इतना बेचना है,
जी,
इतना मैं मार्केटिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट अंडरराइट कर रहा हूँ इसमें.
ठीक है.
तो अगर 2 करोड़ का बेचना है तो लेट्स से मैं 50 लाख का मार्केटिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट स्पेंड कर रहा हूँ, एंड हेंस व्हाट इज द 3-year forward demand that could come from here, or sorry, 3-month forward demand that could come from here. And if you can put that down by SKU, by channel, this you should feed into an AI which can then start telling you when things are going wrong when you start feeding it your weekly MISs.
Sure.
So do you guys do that right now?
No, not to that extent.
To that extent. We
So
do it
you
on the
have-
overall MIS level, but not in this much
Now,
detail.
so and your sales recon is like every day, week, month.
We track daily sales.
हाँ, तो वो है ना आपका MIS बन रहा है.
Correct.
Just like how AI friendly are you both?
I think
getting
I'm
there.
fairly AI friendly.
Can you guys please start feeding your demand plan
Sure.
and your daily MIS into AI and start telling them that you need to act like a supply chain expert. Tell me where are my situations where I will either go out of stock or I'm going to go overstock. You will be amazed if you ask it the right questions with this, just this data, nothing else.
Sure.
It will start telling you upfront. कि यहाँ पे Instamart में you are, let's say your fill rate is X, you sold this much yesterday and you might need to sell more of, let's say, Dam, pickle, might go out of stock. And that will be at least a good early warning signal. And then after that, I think some of the tools, etc., will become helpful. But this is immediate to do. Like literally today, you can go and
You
do
want to
start
stop doing firefighting, like realizing
Dude, you
later.
have to, because this plan
You have to
will
get
be
off manual.
Right.
and you have to use AI.
Yeah.
Like this is just the perfect AI use case. Demand plan, sales, early warning signals, founder can take quick decisions, reallocate inventory or whatever. It's not very hard. Like this will literally come, but this is too much for someone running a full-fledged business to take real-time calls on a daily basis. It's too much overload. You would rather spend your time with customers in the market, with a category manager of Blinkit, not with the purchase order inwarding guy. No. So start feeding your demand plans. Make this, I think,
Sure.
make this
No, that's
monthly
really helpful.
and hold people accountable when these numbers start going. कि तुमने इतना टारगेट लिया था, इतना मार्केटिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट किया, लेकिन तुम 10% ही मार्केटिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट कर पाए. क्यों? क्योंकि तुम्हारा मार्जिनल रोआस कम हो रहा था. तो ये टारगेट ही गलत था. Then your demand goes for complete toss. So the moment you start seeing this happening, recorrect it. Change the demand plan. Don't wait for next month to change the demand plan.
Right. Right.
So your marketing efficiency will go up, your marketing spend will go down, your net working capital will improve, your cash will improve further.
इसका ना मैं बॉम्बे शेविंग कंपनी का
sure.
जो अभी करंट करते हैं, हम we'll send you that,
Sure.
and we'll send you the way we have trained our GPT also.
That'll be really helpful.
That'll be quite
We'll
helpful.
send that to you offline. Okay, what else?
So again, everything is sort of connected. The third piece that we keep discussing on is to go wide or go deep in terms of product expansion. Right now, we've been very clear. Our focus has always been pickles, and that's what we've built on so far. Now, the next best extension, which came from our customers, was chutneys. They wanted that from us. We launched that. Gulkand was something that we saw a very good gap in.
Can I try the Gulkand though?
We
sure.
have that in the other box. I'll make you try it.
Okay.
So Gulkand is another new launch, and ketchup is something, again, the condiment space. We wanted to try how sauces do for us. It's still an early bet for us. So again, if we go wide, it will be more in the condiment space, more in the pickle space. That should be the next maybe 1-year plan, or go deep in the condiments category itself, or go wide into different categories. We get very excited sometimes. We'll be like, let's do papad. We know we can do spices easily because that is a very huge part of the pickle. We have access to very good quality spices, so we can do spice mixes easily. We can do beverages like kanji easily. So we keep brainstorming on those things, but then we have to stop ourselves, hold your horses, let's stick to the main path. So go deep, go wide. What should be the plan? Eventually, like we mentioned, our goal is 500 crore eventually. If we want to be a kitchen brand, we will have to go get into different categories. So the timing is also very important. We have limited capital, so we don't want to get overexcited also, and maybe not divert from our main core focus too soon. So that is something that we keep discussing upon.
What's the cost of launching a new SKU? Like inventory plus working capital? Development plus inventory / working capital?
Easy 7-8 lakhs.
7 lakh.
7-8, yeah. In terms of, if I look at the
Everything.
whole cycle, yeah.
But now that the visibility or the dark stores are increasing, it will obviously get more expensive. We'll have to get more stock
Would you
out
not want to
also.
launch a new SKU on D2C just to see?
Yeah, that's what we do. So right now also, the ketchup first we launched on D2C. So I'll tell you also how we launch a product. We go to the core customers, we try to also ask them what do they want from us. So ketchup was coming up again and again, chutneys were coming up again and again, gulkand was coming up again and again. Then we go on marketplaces, see what the searches are also sort of coming for.
Yeah.
And then of course we go to the QCOM managers and to identify if there's an actual need or not. And again, see the searches as well. So before we launch a product, we do all of this. We have that much data and then we get into the launching bit. So
Got it.
yeah, that is the whole process.
So, would you say that the pickles part of the business, let's take this away. This part, this is also not a pickle, right?
Correct.
That's chutney, yeah.
That's a chutney. So there's pickles,
Right.
there's chutney. This
That's
is
also chutney, and
then
sauces is completely new right
and
now.
sauces. These are new things, right?
Yes,
Which business do you understand well enough where you got into a rhythm?
pickles.
Very clearly, this is a business where you can run it and you know how to run it pretty well,
Correct.
right? And this is a business you're still experimenting with, or you
Correct.
think you figured it out?
No, I think we're still experimenting.
You're still experimenting.
It's been less than a quarter, yeah.
Yeah. And then this one?
Very, very nascent, right? Very
Yeah.
nascent. It's like beyond it's not like Indianized taste, so that's our experiment going beyond Indian over here.
Okay. So
Right now, everything's been Indian original organic focus. This is something westernized in the condiment space, so it's very out of what we've been doing so far.
okay.
That's
Okay.
just very dangerous.
What, you're just eating the pickles? Okay. Okay, time for another. I'll give you my favorite framework
Yes.
of
Great. Arjun's picking that up. I'm picking the pickle up.
yeah, he's picking up the pickle. He told me to use the. Now I know why he's told me to use the whiteboard a lot so that he can keep eating the pickle.
I want to give an example also before we
Yeah.
dive into this. So for just Diwali, we make very good chili oil. Like I know how to make very good chili oil. Just for Diwali, we did a little farm special chili oil just for family, friends, or business associates. So we
Chili
said that
oil is like, what do you eat that with?
it'll go with rice and all also, but it's like an
Like
Asian
my dad has it
condiment.
with like a tadka today. He's replaced tadka with chili
But
oil.
with dim sums primarily, it's an Asian condiment. So we just did it for Diwali. It was in a Diwali box, very limited pieces. Now our customers are calling us that we want to buy it. But of course, we want to do it the proper way. But I know our product is very good. So that is where as founders we have to stop ourselves sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So we'll fit in stuff. So I'll give you a framework. I've used it to build very small businesses like 0 to 1 journeys. Used it also to run multi-billion-dollar businesses. It works in all cases, and I think it's a pretty universal framework. So we call this framework "Be Big," right? Be fast, and be bold. Right? And I'll give you numbers, again, theoretical numbers. They don't have to be exact, but roughly the ratio of maybe effort could be business, could be effort, could be what you do with your time, how do you spend your time thinking about some of this stuff. And each feeds into the other. So Be Big is, I would say, for simplicity's sake, I'll take this as Be Big right now. It's basically, let's say your pickles business, right?
Sure.
It's a business that you understand quite well. You know how to build it. It's the origin of your brand. So it's the core of your business.
Right.
And since it's the core of your business, you know how to run it very well. And the cycle that you're in, because you have enough SKUs, you've covered a lot of flavor profiles. Can you introduce more flavors? Of course you can. But you have flavor profiles. So it runs in a cycle where you start by plan, right? And then you execute. And you review whether you did it well or not, or you use ChatGPT or you have a chat amongst yourselves. And you adjust, right? So, and the game is, how can you do this faster? How can you become more efficient at it? How can you become great at it? How can you operationalize it? And how can you just run it faster? Now, in that retail world that we talked about, this thing takes months.
Mm-hmm.
In the online world that we talked about, let's say marketplaces and D2C, this thing takes weeks.
Yep.
In the quick commerce world we talked about, this thing takes days and hours. It has a very fast feedback loop. You can adjust it very fast. So you can get better and better. And that's why you can grow those businesses much more exponentially. But this is the essence, and you keep running it because you know what you're doing. You have a product, you have product market fit, you have lots of ticks in the earlier framework type of thing. Be fast is something new that you're trying. And mostly, let's call it, this is the chutneys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And because you don't know what you don't know, the game here is not to do this, because you could start executing something which is useless.
Yeah.
right? And that's a very, very fast way to blow up money. So what you will do is you will run experiments. You'll run A/B tests, right? And you'll keep A/B testing. You'll do A versus B. B will work. You'll ditch A. You'll do B versus C. And that could be in flavors. It could be in bottles. It could be in shapes. It could be, I don't want to do chutney. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
Type of a thing, right? And this is pretty, and as you're doing this, you're moving away from your core, because the core is you started as a pickle brand, Papa's Pickles, and then you move to Little Farm, and then you do chutneys because it is a condiment in some sense. And ketchup is a foreign condiment. Right? Ketchup is a foreign condiment. And here basically you have no clue. So here you should not be blowing up a lot of stuff. So it can be either be bold, or you can say that, I want to see whether it's going to survive, and if it doesn't survive, I'll kill it. But here, basically, you'll try it because you think there's something to it. But you can also use this as a framework for capital allocation now.
Yes, sure.
So 70% of your capital, attention, time, energy should go here. And what I've seen is this will become 90% of your business, close to 85 to 90% of your business. And this usually ends up being maybe 7 to 8% of your business. And this will be 2% of your business, but you'll get 10% of your time. Why? Why is this important? Because if you knock something out of the park here, it transfers to this.
Very quickly.
If you learn how to do, and very quickly. And if you learn how to do this well, it can move here. So it is important not to give this up. You have to have, and as a new brand, you have to have these ideas. You have to do ketchup even though you started as a pickle brand, or you have to do some good idea that someone told you, because they are good ideas, and you know food, you understand, you're a foodie, you love food, you understand the taste of the target audience, you are in the target audience now, and you know how to move it. So I would use this, and this is basically bets, but here basically I'll give you a term we used to use many years ago for this, is make a little, sell a little, learn a lot. So don't make too much, because you'll get inventory and cash stuck in this. And then you move through this, and you can use this as a basic frame. You can change the name, just the names are not important. But protect the core, run it well, but don't swing the pendulum completely this way that I only want to do 8 pickles and with that I'll do everything. No, it won't happen. Life doesn't work that way. But don't be in the temptation to be super excited with all this. This is the most exciting stuff. This will become the least exciting stuff. But this is where the cash comes from, and this is where the money comes from. So you need to allocate your time, resources very well amongst these things. It will answer your go deep versus go wide, but this be big will also be go deep, because you have a core business and you need to go deep and win in it.
Yes.
And you need to do both together. The answer is not or. The answer is to develop a framework to do multiple things. And generally, you will super under resources.
So this puts things in perspective. Like, I can already see the imli chutney going from be fast to be big. Like, it's worked. So that gives us more space here to experiment.
Also, I agree with this fully. And there's a mirror to me also. Arjun has told me this also multiple times. Is founders are, by design and DNA, are 0 to 1 people. Right?
Correct.
We are excited about new things.
Correct.
Something new. कुछ नया बनाया मैंने. कुछ chili oil दे दिया मैंने. I want to try something. So this 70-20-10 will quickly become 10-20-70.
Yes.
ये boring है. हो गया यार कितना आम का पिकल है, ठीक है, हो गया यार, same taste every day. You will only get bored of it, and it's natural. But for founders, it becomes very tempting to make that 70%. So, and you'll always see, the moment you're excited about something, you'll be selective about the information you're getting. You'll be like, so many customers came and told me they want chili oil, there'll be 15 of them.
Yeah.
There won't be so many, but you will give so much importance to those 15 because they are validating a bias that you have for your...
Exactly.
Right? But the arm pickle is what is putting food on the table, literally.
Yes, agreed.
Right? So that is where you have to resist natural instinct.
So this is where I get excited. So he has to tell me that relax.
And by the way, this also gives you, doing this, the be big part of your business very well, gives you the cash to do the other stuff.
Yes.
And gives you the wit to do that. But if you focus completely on that and this collapses, then your company will go.
He's going to ask you at some point, कि ठीक है तुम करो, पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे उसके लिए? तो इधर से आएंगे पैसे ना, P&L से आएगा. तो वहाँ से निकालो 10 लाख, 8 लाख लगते हैं, तो 8 लाख वहाँ से निकालेगा निहारिका, 8 लाख तुम आम पिकल से निकालो, फिर अपन चिली ऑयल करेंगे. That's broadly how the discussion should eventually be if this framework is followed.
I think that makes complete sense in terms of at least the ketchup, and that it gives me clarity there. That even if I'm moving away, that's experimenting for me.
And moving those products into Be Big is actually the, you're right, it's food, right? Once you've entered a kitchen, you want to be condiments for the kitchen, entered with one thing, you should sell them 4, 5, 6, 7 things, right? For the family. And you will have to see, यार ये family है, इनको ये दोनों चीजें पसंद है, तो ये तीसरी चीज बना लेती हूँ मेरे लिए.
Also, maybe a little different, but how many SKUs do you think one should have to do things efficiently?
As
Or
few
there
as
is no
po-
limit?
as few
As few
as
as possible.
Yeah, you should be lean, right?
As few as possible. Every SKU adds complexity, adds inventory. So as few as possible.
So if we know something's at the tail end, it is giving us revenue, but it's not giving us significant revenue, we should churn that out and put in something that is
In be bold.
get our winners
So
basically.
I would take out the tail and use that SKU width and working capital and everything to try and discover new categories which can blow up. Or
Understood.
discover new things which can grow up rather than chasing the tail, going through the pain, having one SKU somewhere, not having productive, not meeting
Because
MOQ.
it takes energy,
It
it
takes
takes
energy,
effort,
yeah.
it takes stock keeping
Yeah.
for no reason.
So I think the question to ask in the tail SKUs, can I make a business out of it? Can I make it into a big, highly performing top 5 SKU? If the answer is no, then you always are taking out your bottom SKU and getting something brand new which has the potential to blow up.
The complexity increases here a little for us also is because QCOM, different SKUs are doing well, and website, different SKUs are doing well. Because website's more of, I would say, pull marketing, and QCOM is what the person searching for it anyway comes ahead. So a lot of my mentors, investors have always told us, be lean, cut down all the SKUs, but this framework puts it in perspective in terms of that at least with new launches, where do I experiment and where do I stop with the experiment?
So I think the thing with investors, and very rightfully so, is that they will want founders, like even with Arjun and me. He will always tell me it's very exciting to do that, but be focused, because founders are easy to distract. However, the one balancing thing that I have found is that one variable to optimize is founder focus on capital, bandwidth, mental, kind of focus, etc. The other is founder energy. Right? A lot of times these two are not in full correlation. What is founder focus sometimes takes away from founder energy. Someone like me gets a lot of energy, for example, doing podcasts or doing, stuff that helps the business, but also I derive a lot of energy in these conversations, or a new brand launch or a new product launch, etc. I have to balance these two, because for long-term functioning of me, both focus and energy, so you have to balance that. So this framework will help you also balance. So don't feel guilty or कि मैं कुछ गलत कर रही हूँ when I get excited about chili oil. You should be excited about it, because your excitement and your energy is what drives the business. That is what drives your team. That's what drives your supplier, your buyers. That's what drives your consumers. You should never compromise on that. You should always know how to channelize it, and then as a capital deployer, return to shareholder, which is in this case mostly you guys.
Correct.
You will have to kind of say, okay, fine, ये सब ठीक है. This is all extracurricular.
Yes.
But this is
capital efficiency will come in from there only.
You have to manage both. It's not a or.
Yes.
It's an and think of it as a left brain and a right brain, and you need to do both things. Without innovation, you can't grow your business, because you are, by definition, you're a new brand, you're an innovative brand, you're going to come up with things which other people can't come up with. So you have to come up with them. However, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have a very high failure rate. And therefore, what you need to do is you need to set yourself up in a system, in a way that when you lose very small. And when you win huge.
Yes.
So in business, that's all that matters, because your loss rate is always ahead. There is no business in which the win rate is ahead of the loss rate. And anyone who tells you that is lying. They are lying to you.
Makes sense.
They have no idea whether they're winning or not. More important, even worse, right? So you will have a very big loss rate, because you can only win big if you lose a lot. So you have to set yourself up a system to lose again and again, but lose very small in a very controlled manner with very little cash, very little inventory, and a limited mind space. And then when you win, when you win big, you have a system to scale up very fast. And you have to keep building that muscle and system to scale up very fast, which is coming through your pickles business. And that's the way I would think about it.
But having said that, when you say lose small, that doesn't mean you make half-assed efforts at it.
Correct.
Put full effort for that small period of time, and then if it's working, move it quickly. Otherwise, it's not working.
Yeah, we internally discussed 3-month review should be there for every product in terms of how it's doing, at least when we put it out there.
Yeah, first 20 customers, call up yourself. Like, that's the DNA clearly you guys have. Aapko sense aa jayega. And right now you launched 13, but at the 50th product, you both will probably have an instinct कि chalega nahi chalega. वो ingoing hypothesis होगा. You'll also get sharper and sharper with your be bold stuff.
In terms of be bold, now the second question, where do we take our bets? Condiments or anything?
थोड़ा right to win देखो आप कि where does Little Farm have right to win? Not for you, but for your consumer.
Right.
For example, I'll give you my example. Bombay Shaving Company has right to win in hair removal and shaving. We started with that. So moving to trimmers and electronic appliances that remove hair was an immediate right to win.
Right.
Moving to shampoos was not. both sit in the bathroom, but like, and me being bald has nothing to do with it. Like, had just no right to it, right? Soaps, limited.
Yeah.
But fragrances, because we had an aftershaves and all of that, similar bottles.
Sort of goes in the same cabinet also.
Yes. Face washes to some extent, because shaving creams, face washes again sits together, right? Similar fragrances, you put it on your face and so on. So you have to know as Little Farm कि consumer को मेरा आम का अचार पसंद आ रहा है, तो consumer को शायद मेरी coriander चटनी पसंद आएगी, शायद. They're eating it in the same, like चाय के साथ.
Correct.
It's whatever, right? But that consumer will tell you, in my view. You will not know this.
And come back to the business that you want to build, right? You're very articulate and clear about the business that you want to build, which is it just tastes just like home.
Yeah.
So if you cannot make something taste just like home, you should not be in that business. So if you're going to go into, as you said, a plain spices business, maybe that's not the right extension to go into, because you want to not process the food, but you want to get to some kind of an end output which has an impact, right? And then you have the other 5 things that you talked about. So you can just use that as your own framework which you developed. That does it tick these 6 boxes?
Makes sense, yeah.
And if it doesn't tick the 6 boxes, I won't try it. It doesn't make sense, right? So will you make samosa? I don't know. I don't think so. Live samosa, right? You won't make it. You can't sell it in quick commerce. Maybe you can someday. I don't know. But you may not do that. But you'd rather, if your sauce works, will you go into different kinds of sauces, right? Maybe you'll go into different kinds of sauces, Chinese sauces or whatever it is. So I think that framework, you have already developed the framework. You have the answer within yourselves.
I also feel like when I'm a Viva, because they cracked Horeca and so on, their ability to go into sauces and then into like Korean and this, and that is so high.
It was endless.
Yeah, Viraj could have, again, right to win tha. Usko pata tha isme mera right to win hai, so he doubled down on it. So what is your right to win? Tick the 6 boxes of what you have articulated as your reason. Like, who am I? Why buy me? Right? You have put 6 things down. I'm Little Farm, this is why you buy me. So then you just put that filter to it, and then you can make a B-bold choices a lot more accurate.
No, of course, that has, because, in our pre-QCOM era, when we were just D2C, we had about 10 pickles. तब उसको काट के 5 किया. फिर धीरे अब आके 8 पे आए.
And that bias used to come. Like, we did really fun, different flavors also, which I loved. And maybe some customers love, but not everyone loved.
क्योंकि farmers market में the person would look for flavors जो उसने बचपन में खाए थे उसको उसके बाद मिला ही नहीं. And वहाँ के again right to win was different from D2C. And D2C के right to win is different from QCOM.
Nostalgia is a great place to be, by the way. From a marketing standpoint, nostalgia is a beautiful place to be. Just from the flavors, olfactory, taste, everything. It's a great place to be. I think even, I don't know whether you know this sweet Karam coffee. They also have like a grandmother.
Yeah, very good portfolio.
I love their Mysore Pak. I tried that. That was really nice. The mango Mysore Pak. In this food, I think they were there and I tried.
They've named that lady.
Anna, I think.
Anna, क्या नाम है उनका? Ashutosh, what is Sweet Karam Coffee's mascot? Like, not mascot,
No, but she is actually the
face of
she is actually the grandmother. She's a real person. It's not.
it is.
She's the grandmother.
She's named.
Every product they make is fantastic.
They name her out and they kind of. At some point, you guys should personalize these women. Like I know your grandmother's passed, but it's just beautiful to kind of bring. What a way to create a legacy for someone, right?
No, makes complete sense.
Right, and you should like kind of channel her into the business, because if that is what you are putting on the table of consumers who are eating, then they should absolutely know where it has come from. Not just the farm, but one level even beyond the farm, which is your grandmother.
Yes, nostalgia, like you said.
So beautiful. Like, that story is so powerful.
I mean, that was the ethos I started with and convinced him to
It'll also hold you guys. It'll hold you guys to a very high bar on what you put in your consumers' homes.
Yeah,
correct.
To say you should always, frankly, when you're doing a product discussion and maybe in your content, like what Amazon says, that that in one of we put an empty chair in every meeting, and we assume that there's a consumer sitting there listening to us. So in your case, you should have an empty chair where you're assuming that your Dadi Ma is sitting there.
Correct.
And then every choice you make, you will always remember, is she going to approve it or is she not? And
coming back to a fun incident that happened last week, I went to my bua's house and she got a lemon pickle that was 60 years old, which my Dadi had made. And I tried it. You can try it. It's safe. Like, it's in fact really good for your gut. So I tried that lemon pickle and it was preserved in a perfect manner with the whole martaban or how she left it. So we do have that legacy.
The jar hasn't changed. Same glass jar, martaban, which is, been there.
So the minimalist office, I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know this? The minimalist office, their entire thesis is that we making our products, our R&D is our core. So in this, their office is huge, and in the center of the office is their lab. And it's surrounded by transparent glass. So all the employees, everyone can, when they are in the office, at the center of the office, are the scientists and the formulators making it. For you guys, this 60-year-old glass jar should be kept in the middle I'm not kidding, in the middle of the workplace to tell everyone that this is the bar.
Correct.
Always, this is the bar.
No, I
Us to
agree.
get to.
I agree. So when I saw that, I was just like,
It's mind
I
blowing.
have to keep it very carefully back in the cupboard.
You saw, for example, like, I don't know whether you've been to a Macallan distillery or one of these places. They revere,
Yes.
the aging of.
They really preserve history.
Our cousin said, initially this way back that,
When I just saw her.
pickle making is an art and it's a dying art at the same time, because my friends are not adopting to it for sure, in terms of making it. So we have to preserve it well.
And 100%. This is for posterity, man.
Correct.
This is you're doing stuff for posterity. It's very clearly like amazing work. Anything else before we close, guys?
No, I think that's been quite helpful. We have a lot to work on, especially the AI tools and frameworks.
It's also a demand plan.
So this whole week I was telling Aditya, this is what I get excited about, when like this is the kind of stuff that gets you out of the whole wheel. Yeah.
Day-to-day
I
monotony.
kept calling him every day. I'm very excited.
No, I'm hoping this has been helpful. And even outside of the pod, like, do make sure that whether it's with Arjun or myself or anyone else where you feel like jamming with someone helps you, just pick up the phone and do that.
We had a few more questions, though. We'll take that up separately with.
Sure. Because I do that with him. I do that with Revant. Like, there are a few people who you build a natural kind of connection with, and every month, couple of months, 3 months, there doesn't have to be a setup call, calendar, none of that. It's what, hey, can we catch up 2 minutes? And then Arjun is kind enough to do it with a lot of our team members also. You have to build that out.
Right, absolutely.
And the thing with mentorship is, or guidance is, many times people just do it and they feel it is one way, where you ask for mentorship and the person gives it to you. But everyone also, you can give a lot to, in addition to like great pickles and so on. People will learn a lot from the way you guys are building out businesses. Right? So always be in a giving mode with your mentors also. Like, I never thought I could give him anything, but then I've realized that over a period of time, like Arjun's investing journey in India, etc., happens a lot because we were able to do it, and he comes on the podcast, and I'm like, cool, this is cool, and I see him getting excited, and I also get excited, and our relationship goes way beyond.
I get it. You have to nurture a relationship to build, so that's how it works, I guess, with mentoring also.
100%. We just assume it's like a take. It's never. It's always a give and take.
Right.
Agreed.
Initially, it might be take.
Yes.
There's a lot of take, but then you have to start giving also. You have.
Correct.
Awesome.
Okay.
So this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this experience.
It was a great time.
Yes.
Awesome. Very nice, and all the very best. All the very, very best. Yeah, we do have some gifts for you though.